Chelsea stunned Spurs in one of the wildest Premier League games of the season, coming from 2-0 down to win the game 4-3. It's their 4th straight league victory, and now they sit second in the table just behind Liverpool. With momentum building, standout performances from the likes of Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez, tactical tweaks paying off, the big question is now, are Chelsea genuine Premier League title contenders? In this video, we'll break down how Chelsea outsmarted Spurs, the players driving this resurgence, and whether they have what it takes to challenge Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester City for the title. Let's get into it. Chelsea's win over Spurs wasn't just about grit, it was a tactical masterclass from Enzo Maresca. Spurs came out in their signature high pressing system, trying to overwhelm Chelsea from the first whistle, and for 30 minutes, well, it worked. Chelsea's midfield struggled to keep possession, with Lavia and Caicedo unable to play through the pressure. Spurs raced into a 2-0 lead, and the game looked like it might turn into a rout. But that's where Maresca showed his tactical brilliance. He made a bold half-time adjustment, taking off Lavia, shifting Caicedo back to his natural defensive midfield position, and pushing Enzo Fernandez deeper to control the game's tempo. Gusto came on a right back, giving Chelsea more width and stability in defense, and that switch, well, it changed everything. With Fernandez operating slightly deeper, Chelsea bypassed Spurs' press with precision. Fernandez's long passes over the top repeatedly found Cole Palmer, who drifted between the lines, creating chaos. Palmer's movement pulled Spurs' fullbacks out of position, opening space for Chelsea's attacking runs. It's no coincidence that Fernandez and Palmer were directly involved in 3 of Chelsea's 4 goals in the game. One of the game's most surprising tactical tweets came from Cucurella, who played as an underlapping number 8 on the left-hand side. Instead of staying wide, he frequently cut inside, dragging defenders with him and creating overloads in central areas. Spurs simply couldn't adjust. This fluid movement kept Chelsea dangerous in the final third and helped them overwhelm a tiring Spurs defense in the second half. By full time, Chelsea's tactical flexibility combined their relentless attacking play had completely flipped the game. This wasn't just a lucky comeback, although luck was definitely involved. It was a masterclass in in-game management and tactical ability. If Chelsea are serious about mounting a Premier League title challenge, and right now it's looking like they are, a couple names stand out. I've already made a video about Caicedo and how good he's been, but right now 2 names I want to speak about is Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez. Against Spurs, they were the heartbeat of everything good that Chelsea did, and their performances went beyond just stats. Let's start with Cole Palmer. Everyone's spoken about him since last season. Signed from Manchester City. Many questioned if he was ready for a starring role at a club like Chelsea. I mean, many people were making fun of it for £45 million. Why would you sign someone who doesn't look very good for Man City? But right now, he's proven he might just be one of the best signings we've seen from any club in the past 2 or 3 seasons, and that's a huge statement. Against Spurs, Palmer played as a hybrid playmaker, drifting between the right wing and central attack in midfield. Against Spurs, Cole Palmer had 4 chances created, 79% accurate passes, and scored a crucial goal from the penalty spot with some ice-cold composure. What makes Palmer special isn't just his technical skill, it's his football intelligence, his ability to find space, link play, and read defensive movements that gives Chelsea a dynamic edge that they've lacked kind of since Eden Hazard's prime. Palmer is already Chelsea's creative hub, already Chelsea's best player, and he's only been here for a season and a bit. Then there's Enzo Fernandez, the team's midfield general, well, him and Caicedo. After a mixed start at Chelsea, he's now finally starting to look like the player that Chelsea paid £100 million for. Against Spurs, he was everywhere, winning duels, spraying passes, controlling the game from deep after Maresca's tactical adjustments, and his defensive work allowed Caicedo to sit deeper and break up play, while Enzo orchestrated attacks with pinpoint switches and line-breaking passes. I like Lavia, but that Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez duo in midfield is looking extremely dangerous. And I know there's the meme, Enzo Fernandez, he's now single, so that's why he's playing like this. I'm not going to buy into that at all. And when you look at the third goal, I mean, that just shows how good Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez was. It was a goal that finally turned the game around because it allowed Chelsea to be up in the game. Palmer weaved into the box before firing goalward. His shot deflected, bounced up inevitably for Enzo Fernandez to hit, and the midfielder gladly took their responsibility, blasting home a magnificent strike to make it 3-2 to Chelsea from 2 goals behind. In the 73rd minute, they were leading the game 3-2. So after 4 straight Premier League wins, including this thrilling 4-3 victory over Spurs, the big question is, are Chelsea genuine title contenders? You look at the table, They're 2 points clear of Arsenal, they are 4 points clear of Manchester City, and they're only 4 points off of Liverpool, even though Liverpool do have a game in hand. The answer depends though on 3 key factors: consistency, depth, and their head-to-head results against title rivals. Beating Spurs in such dramatic fashion shows Chelsea have fight and resilience. They came back from 1-0 down in the bridge to get a 1-1 draw with other title contenders with the likes of Arsenal, but they did lose 2-1 to Liverpool away in Anfield, and they did lose on the first day to Manchester City. Now, Chelsea's first 11 looks very strong. Their depth does kind of remain a concern here and there, but I'm not too worried about their depth if I'm being honest. If injuries do hit key players like Cole Palmer, Fernandez, or Caicedo, the drop-off in quality could derail their campaign. Let's just be honest. The young squad is also still learning how to handle title race pressure, a reality that might show as the season wears on, similar to when Arsenal started making their first push for the Premier League title back when they had an extremely young squad as well. Another critical factor is their away form. They failed to win at Anfield, and they are yet to play at the Etihad and the Emirates, and those could be the difference between 4th and 1st in the table. If Chelsea can pick up points in those crucial fixtures, the title talk will become more than just hype. Right now, Chelsea are riding a wave of momentum, and rightfully so. They have a lot of confidence surging through the squad. They've shown they can adapt tactically, fight through adversity, and get results even when games seem lost when they're away from home against the likes of Spurs. If they can keep this up though, Maresca's men might just have what it takes to challenge for Premier League glory. Look, after dissecting Chelsea's season so far, it's clear that they've evolved into finally being a formidable Premier League force. Their tactical flexibility, driven by Maresca's bold, no pun intended, in-game adjustments, have given them a competitive edge. Cole Palmer being arguably the best player in the Premier League, plus the dominance of Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo in midfield, has turned Chelsea into one of the most dynamic and creative units in the Premier League. However, they are still unanswered questions. Can they maintain consistency across a long season? Will injuries expose their lack of depth in key areas? Because I don't really know what happens if someone like Cole Palmer gets injured. And most importantly, can they deliver in those defining clashes when they have to play Arsenal away, Manchester City away, and when they have to replay Liverpool in the bridge? The reality is that Chelsea are in the conversation. No one can deny that anymore. And then still being in the title conversation is something that few would have predicted even a month ago. If they can sustain their current form and navigate the season's challenges, there's no reason they can't push for the Premier League title. They're still outsiders because Liverpool are so good, but Chelsea are no longer bystanders.